What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is ACL Sydney, the grand finals, and I am here with Zeph. And I was just saying, it feels like we haven't cast together yet.
Yeah, it's been a little while. We've had all sorts of pros up here, which has been great. Yeah. They're much better at the analysis than we are, so I'm sure you guys have enjoyed
way
that.
better at the analysis than we are. But so we've been appreciating that. Really enjoyed casting with Blisk. I'm sure you enjoyed your frustration time as well. Wasn't frustrating at all?
No, not in the slightest. I think he's got a new fan in me. Quite like frustration.
Oh, okay. Ooh. There you go.
Not right. Ooh. Okay. God. Jeez. All right. Well, our first map's going to be
breaking that ice.
Yeah, breaking it good.
That's
all
right, because we haven't cast together yet.
The format here is going to be a best of 7, but with KingKong leading 2-0 because it is an extended series from when these guys played earlier. So in that case, KingKong only has to win 2 maps to take it home. Iaguz has to win 4. That's not going to be an easy feat.
Not at all. We saw how KingKong kind of dissected this Terran player in the first best of 3 that they played together in the winner bracket semis. Going to be tough. It's a tall order, but I got faith. He's still the guy that I've picked to win this tournament, and I don't care if he's down 0-2.
No, I think the crowd has a lot of faith in Iaguz as well.
They have a lot of faith, and the cheers actually do matter. And that said, let's get into it. The grand final, map number 1. This in the top right. You love him, I love him. From Root Gaming, this is Iaguz! Oh yeah! And in the bottom left, Zeph, your most hype intro. I demand it!
Okay. In the bottom left, from Team XL5, the Korean monster, the final boss, it is KingKong!
Yes! Absolutely. I was going to call him the final boss, but Ellison said it about 20 times, so that's cool. We're just
I wanted to tag something else on the end.
That's exactly right.
It just kind of came up.
Yeah. An incredibly good Zerg from Team XL5 is what I'll call him today. He has won so many ACLs. He is the ACL champion of 2013.
Yep.
I handed him the trophy. Did you hand him the trophy? I don't know. We gave him the trophy. He got the trophy. He's the 2013 champion is what I'm trying to say here, and that's the important part. The other important part is Iaguz is what he's opening here. He's,
Okay.
Wet at Rax, yo.
It's been a while.
Yeah, wet at Rax. It's 13 food.
Yeah, he's just making some SCVs. Is he going to go for a CC first?
Yeah, it's looking like he wants to go CC first. Okay,
well,
fair
that's
enough.
something that he hasn't done against the Zerg yet, and it looks like this is when he's finally starting to switch his play up.
Switching play is actually not a bad option at all, because KingKong did pretty well against his standard play in the last couple games.
And you know what? I had a word with Iaguz after that, and he didn't seem like shaken by that at all. He's like, oh, yeah, you know, it happened. He's not worried, though. He still reckons he can pull it through. He mentioned earlier that he also has a fair few strats planned for KingKong. Like, obviously, this is the guy he practices for in this tournament, most of all. So, well, maybe this is one of the first things that he's got planned.
Hatch gas pull from KingKong, so not being too crazy. Just taking it easy.
Not opting for the gasless. He does like to get that gas early because, well, if you can kill Iaguz with speedlings followed up by Roach in earlier games, he might try it again.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Zeph. And if it works against Iaguz, if Iaguz has trouble with Roach pressure openings, then for God's sake, you're going to just try it again, because there's a lot of money on the line here. There is literally $1,000 on the line here. Both of them are confirmed WCS Challenger NA spots, and that's awesome because they're 2 of my favorite players. So I'm very, very excited to see what their bracket's going to look like in Challenger.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's, in the meantime, they are fighting for a grand, and that's a lot of cash.
Not only that, but KingKong being up 2-0 already, he has a lot more wiggle room than Iaguz does to try things and just see if they work. Because he's not going to worry if he loses a map or 2. After that, yeah, sure, he certainly has to bring his A game, but he has a bit of room to experiment. And here we go with the Marine coming out here. He's actually got a decent chance of getting this Overlord.
Might actually be a dead Overlord here by the looks of things. Yeah, wow, okay.
I don't know, these Overlords always surprise me with how fast they are. But so far, so good for that Marine. I think he may indeed snipe it.
This Marine, what has it got, like armor on or something?
No,
Jeez.
it's not going to, it's not, right? It's not going to get away.
What? Yeah, okay. So Zerg isn't imbalanced.
No.
That's good. We just confirmed that. Nice.
Okay, good.
Great. Yep. So the factory follow-up here, pretty standard for Iaguz to do that, dropping that reactor on the racks to get them Hellions. Setting up a wall as well for the Lings, so not just leaving a naked bunker with a bit of wiggle room. He's actually going to get that supply depot wall happening as well. And yeah, I think this is going to be pretty good if there is going to be Ling aggression or some kind of massive Ling flood or a roach attack that's going to help him out. KingKong, however, is going to go for third hatch instead and droning up.
He's just third hatch, actually.
Yeah, he's got macro on the brain by the looks of it so far.
So I wonder if Iaguz is actually going for his usual 3cc sort of play. He hasn't dropped the third one just yet, and in fact, he's going straight for the starport first.
Now he's put it in a precarious spot as well, where
Banshee time.
I mean, it's looking like he wants to put a tech lab on that Rax and then send the Banshees over. But I mean, he's definitely put it in a spot where he doesn't want KingKong. He has to surprise KingKong with this. Yeah. Obviously, if KingKong knows about it, he'll drop spores. KingKong has the risk of dropping blind spores anyway because he's a solid Zerg and he's just, it always seems when he plays these games that he seems to have all his bases covered, even though this is his least favorite matchup as far as his win rates go. Indeed. And there's the Roche Warren. So this is actually so far looking like a good choice from Iaguz to go for these Banshees. Yeah,
I think so. And Iaguz has got his Marines positioned such that those Overlords can't get in and get a scout, denying a lot of information. So KingKong is in the dark. He's not going to know about the Banshees, especially since that Overlord that was coming in from the back did get picked off very early on. So great choices from Iaguz. Let's see if he's actually going to be able to do some damage to this. I think he should be able to, because with that early third from KingKong, that's a lot more territory for him to cover when you've got 3 mineral lines to worry about, not just for the Banshees, but for the Hellions that are now out on the map as well. So, yeah, I think Iaguz is looking pretty good to do some damage here, but KingKong, he's no pushover. He's really good at dealing with this harass generally.
If anyone called KingKong a pushover to my face, I would slap him straight up. That is just not true. And we got the Hellions just coming through here. Oh! One gets sniped. Wow. Nice little lucky shot there from that Queen on the outside of that attack. So Iaguz getting a little bit overextension with that Hellion harassment. And
he really, really wants to deny the creep. The creep from KingKong has been out of control in previous games. And, he has killed 3 or 4 tumors by now already, but the creep is still slowly edging forward with those extra Queens out from KingKong. So here we go. First Banshee coming out on the map. Iaguz sees the roaches. There's the reaction. He's not going to lose any more Hellions.
Good reaction time there. Revealing the Banshee now. Not revealing Cloak, but that's okay. Zerg have a lot of detection options. It's not that big of a deal if it has Cloak or not, but you can catch unawares, especially in the middle of the map. Really, really good at chasing roaches just like this.
1-1 now starting up for our Zerg player. Going to be earlier than the Terran's upgrade, so that's going to be nice for KingKong later on. But here come the Hellions. Are they going to be able to get the damage done that they want?
The Ling's really messing with the Hellions here as they try and move into this mineral line, but there is quite a few Hellions, and they are trying to get this drone line. Nice splits from KingKong. Actually, he's bringing them back, trying to catch these Hellions here. Wants to get a few roasty toasties. 10 drones are actually dead, Zeph. That is not a bad attack at all.
Very nice. Crowd appreciates it. Banshee comes in. Got to be careful, though, but there's the Cloak.
There it is. And is there a spore in this base?
No, there isn't. There's a bunch of Queens, and if you can take out the Queens,
no transfuse.
Well, I guess the one downside of the Hellions dying is that there's no creep denial, but you know what? Iaguz is actually going mech.
Whoa, mech. This is actually the first mech game that we're going to see. We haven't seen a single mech game all weekend.
No, the one game that we thought he might go mech off Blue Flame Hellions, he in fact transitioned into biomech. So this is really cool. You do not ever expect Iaguz to go for mech. He just doesn't do it.
And just a bit of a fun fact that Iaguz actually beat KingKong in a mech game last time that they did play this this matchup. So that was actually really, really we were actually casting it together.
Really? I don't even remember.
So it was a couple WCS qualifiers ago.
Okay.
I know we've done a fair bit this year. So
you've got a better memory than I do, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. So I just remember the mech games because they stand out to me.
They're rare.
Oh, there's a cancel there, but the Overseer is going to confirm that, more than a couple factories, you're meching. So he's switched things up here. Still going for Spire and getting the Roach upgrades.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he's getting melee upgrades. That's interesting.
Yeah, the Banshee's actually doing some damage. Yeah, he already had the melee upgrades coming along, so he kind of opened pretty standard, Roachling, and then went for the melee upgrades because he would generally end up with Ling, Bane, Muta against Iaguz, but, I mean, the melee upgrades aren't going to hurt him by any means.
Well, I mean, if they're nearly finished, like you said, then they might as well let it finish. 9 meters on the way here. This is for the Banshee response.
Yep, should probably pay a bit more attention to this Queen. We'll actually be able to take out a Banshee in not too long, but I guess we'll micro it back. Try and maximize the usefulness of these Banshees before the Muters pop out. 10 on the way.
Getting a gas is actually quite nice here. Cutting into the gas income of the Zerg, especially when he's trying to make Muters. Quite good. Looks like he's going to chase him down, though. The Muters with that Overseer will catch at least one. That one's out of energy, so we'll get both. Yep. And there we go. So Do they pay for us themselves? I think that they did quite a lot there. They got queens. They got some creep. You know, he couldn't join the bases with creep. He was killing creep trimmers. He killed a lot of drones as well. So I think that that was a good choice from Iaguz.
Yeah, and now it's time for missile turrets and Thors as these first few meters come in. Luckily, there's not that many out on the field. 5 is not a scary number. There's a couple of Vikings to poke those down as well. So he will be able to take a couple of units out here and there.
Yeah, damaging some of the Vikings. Did get a Viking kill there. That's nice. Trying to get the SCVs on the transfer. Does get a couple there. So nice work with the mutas. Just trying to utilize their, well, just make them as useful as possible as he sort of darts around and looks for an opening here. The turret's really well covering the siege lines here that he set up at the third and doing enough to keep him back. He can hit the supply depots, but he can't go much deeper than that.
KingKong is just so good at finding the tiniest gaps to do damage in, and he'll try his best to get something done. I mean, most people would have been in here by now and been like, oh man, I really just can't get enough done. I'm just going to leave.
Thor is here.
Oh, he's got to be a bit careful.
Just clicked on his mutas there. There's his trolling. Then he's actually got out of that volley. Didn't lose any more mutas. It's only 5 meters, so it's not extremely scary, but the infestation pits. This is a scary structure for Terran. It
is. We might be seeing some swarm hosts. Roach upgrades now on the way with the burrow move coming for the roaches as well. And this is the cool thing about opening up mutas. You make the Terran make Thors to deal with them, and then if they overmake Thors, suddenly you have swarm hosts, and Thor's terrible against swarm hosts. So Iaguz needs to keep really good tabs on what KingKong actually has in his army composition so that he doesn't fall victim to just having the wrong stuff.
Yeah, he's primarily making siege tanks. This is what he needs against that composition. So that's good for him. He's actually he's doing very well with his unit. Oh, he spots the infestation pit as well down here, so that's nice. Getting a few drone kills and spotting this base. All good things with these Hellion run-bys. Very nicely done. And there's that Enduring Locust upgrade. So we are confirming there is going to be Swarm Host relatively shortly from KingKong. Of course, Swarm Host being everyone's favorite unit right now.
Yes, absolutely everyone's
making the best games of StarCraft. You can always guarantee, especially when there's a lot of Ravens and a lot of Swarm Hosts, that's when the exciting StarCraft happens.
Yep. Okay, there's the Locust upgrade. Blue Flame coming down now as well. Sense turret, I like that idea a lot.
Nice and
yeah, the 4th base is a tricky one to take on this map, and KingKong is doing all the right things right now. He's getting all his tech, getting his upgrades, just sitting back, keeping tabs on what Iaguz has, but he's also expanding like a madman. He's already got 5 bases, so he's going to have that crazy economy in not too long, and this is one of those situations where we may end up with a split map.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mech Terran is hard to get into, especially when most of your ground army is on the floor, and the siege tanks get to wail on that. But Burrowed Roach is a pretty good tactic, as he's seeing the ripple. Doesn't look like it, but there's a lot of Thors here. I'm not sure if he wants to unburrow here.
It's like the last thing you pay attention to, that ripple, because you're usually looking at things so briefly. Yeah, there's so many. I don't think these roaches are going to find too many places to do damage in the beginning. Swarm Hosts, on the other hand, they'll find a nice position, I'm sure.
I'm not sure they should do this. They might get a Thor or 2 and then burrow again.
Yep, quite possible. Missile turret's going to be built there soon, though, so he's kind of on a timer. And with the rest of the army joining in here, actually, if he starts attacking with the Swarm Hosts and distracts the fire and then pops up, grabs the siege tanks, suddenly there's a lot less left.
The turret's about to finish, though. And when the turret finishes, these units got nowhere to hide, and they do unburrow. Here they go. Taking a lot of shots to the face. Oh, it looks like Iaguz is scanned as well to take them all out. And the Swarm Host Locust Barrage has begun outside of Iaguz's 4th.
Yeah, these roaches turning into a bit of a non-event, unfortunately, for KingKong. But he's starting to lay siege on Iaguz, and that's going to keep him back in his base.
KingKong getting up to Hive and making an insane mineral bank. But speaking of minerals, Iaguz coming in here and taking a few drones away from that gold. And he's just going to continue to hold these Locusts off with a rather large amount of siege tanks. So he's got just enough to not take any damage here.
Yep, he does it. The mutas finally all getting taken out.
Yep.
Those weren't really useful anymore, but now first Ravens in here, and I'm sure we'll be seeing some more of those later on. He did get a second starport.
Yes, we will be seeing some more Ravens for sure. Detecting the Swarm Host is very important. You know, Seeker Missile, Sense Turret, the ability to detect, and the fact that it can drop those really the deceptively strong auto turrets.
Yeah.
Like, they always seem a lot stronger than I expected.
Yeah, quite bulky, and the Ravens actually really help with the Swarm Hosts. If there's no anti-air, no spore crawlers around where these Swarm Hosts are actually parked, you can get in there, start dropping Seeker Missiles or drop auto turrets on top of them, and with the detection you can take them out. But that's a big if, like if Iaguz gets to that point.
Yeah.
He probably will want to look towards, all those extra CCs, eventually take that 5th. And KingKong is actually brave enough to take a hatchery on Iaguz's side of the map, because he's never really going to go down there.
Yeah, not really. You're absolutely right. His major attack path is going to be where the Swarm Hosts are buried. And KingKong going out for the Ultralisk Cavern, the big hugging units themselves, utilizing his melee upgrades, which he's been continuing to research all game.
Yep. Those spores are starting to build around the swarm host. A really key move. You need to keep those alive because they are quite expensive. You don't want to have to remake them. Granted, KingKong does have an insane amount of money. And you know what, I have to say, this is a really tough map for Iaguz to start off this extended series on because a lot of Zergs just turtle here. Mass spores, spines, so the Terran eventually has to move out. And they can just get fungled in a big clump with their Ravens and suddenly they're dead. So
yeah.
We'll see how he goes. I'm not sure how he goes about actually doing damage. He has been trying his best to get some Hellions out on the map or something, but KingKong keeps shutting it down.
Well, with the Ravens, there's going to be Seeker Missile and also the energy upgrade being researched for them, and they're going to be very, very, critical for Iaguz's defense here, and also for the attack as well. Offense and defense, they're going to be very useful. And KingKong with his map awareness, wow. He's just denying Hellions everywhere, not getting anything done. That's his only way to get across the map here.
Iaguz has been completely bullied off the map at this point.
Yeah, KingKong's going to spread creep everywhere Iaguz isn't, and then look to spread where Iaguz is.
Yes. An 80 drone economy is nothing to be laughed at, but neither is a 70 SCV economy. The scary thing is that KingKong's bank is so much bigger right now because Iaguz's units are so much more expensive. Got some burrowed roaches coming in the left here. They're looking for some damage, but
a lot of turrets around, and the Ravens as well. I'm not sure they're going to get too much done, but they're looking like they just looking for anything around there. Anything to snipe off is good damage for him. Looking like he might actually... Nah, he'll be in range of these siege tanks, so...
Yep.
If he can get some supply depot damage there, so he just takes a turret, then leaves. Fair enough.
Yep. New one being built in its place. These swarm hosts still chipping away at the defenses on this side of the map. But there's
7
really
ultras.
not so much to kill there, yeah. A lot of beefy units coming out. The 3-3 finishing up as well. Look at all those upgrades KingKong is getting.
He's getting ventral sacks as well for the Overlords, with the 3-5 and Adrenal Glands for the Ultras and all the melee units. Iaguz, however, just getting +3 attack for the mech. Well, mech and air, I should say, because they're joint upgrades. But yeah, he knows that Iaguz wants this base, and he's already got those roaches in position. And the point and fence drones helping out these SCVs as they just get sacrificed for the greater good, making some supply for their master as he continues to make more units that are useful. Vipers being made by KingKong. Fungal upgrade as well for, pathogen clans on the way for KingKong.
Yeah, I think this is actually where it starts to get really scary for Iaguz, because this is a point where KingKong can start forcing some units out, start picking away at that army, and he's got this extra base too, so that's one less base that Iaguz can potentially take later on. He'll have to kill that, and it's already going to be mined from too. So, well, second spike out from KingKong. He's just at the point where he's got so much money, he can get everything under the sun, so there's no way that he gets caught out with something that he needs but doesn't have.
Look at that mini-map. It's disgusting. It's frightening and horrible.
It's very so red and angry looking.
Everywhere. Oh yeah, red and angry looking with shades of purple. And the Ultras are just looking for something for anything. They want to buffer and take a lot of the shots, giving the Locusts behind them a bit more chance to hit that DPS wall and soak up a lot of those tank shots, and hopefully catch a lot of the Thors as well.
They're not having a lot of luck right now. It feels like these roaches are just a bait. Although there's not too much KingKong can do. That is a lot of Thors, and Thors are quite good against Ultras in big amounts, but yeah, I mean, Iaguz not too keen to walk down here and clear. I think he feels like it's almost a trap because he could definitely kill those off. Yeah. But yeah, when you've got swarm hosts being down your front door, you've seen the Ultras, you're kind of like, does he just want me to move out of position?
So what do you think about Iaguz not getting armor for his mech, just getting the only attack upgrades? Oh, the Seeker Missile's actually destroyed quite a few swarm hosts there, and that's caused KingKong to pull up and move back. The Spore Crawlers have to come up in place.
Yeah, he repositions that. That's why you got to keep an eye on those swarm hosts. Eventually, Iaguz will find a gap. And, some players will eventually get to the point where they're like, screw it, I'm just going to take some hits with the first couple of air units. And, well, then just see if I can Seeker missile them anyway, force him to uproot and at least split. So he's going to come in here now, finally clear away these roaches. Right, he still only has that one kind of upgrade.
I wouldn't have brought all the Ravens. I would have just bought one, but because I like to have them as sort of around where the Spore Crawlers are. But that's okay. Yeah. He's better at the game than I am, so I'll let him get away with it. Ultralisk drops.
There's so many missile turrets,
oh my god! These turrets, though! So many turrets! Will the Ultras come out? Yes, they will! And there's a lot of stuff for these Ultras to nom on, Zeph.
There absolutely is. In fact, blinding clouds going down on the missile turrets as well to negate the fact that they are
that
even
is
there.
so sick.
And what is Iaguz supposed to do? It is so hard for his army to get up in here. This is so sick from KingKong.
He's using the Thors to go down and do some damage. Meanwhile, pulling that army back, just getting the Ravens to do some damage, dropping some auto turrets, anything to slow down these Ultras.
Oh, he gets the upgrade as well.
The upgrade for the armor has been taken out. The armory is gone. And more Ultras being made by KingKong. He's not done. It's too hard for him to clean
These
up.
are his only factories, more or less.
Yeah.
He's not producing anything from here on out. The
the
Thors will
Thor's
finally
getting
get cleaned
cuddled.
up. There are so many Ultras out on the field right now. More on the way. Starport's going down as well, and Iaguz is completely helpless.
Oh my God, there's nothing he can do about these Ultras. You're absolutely right. He's bringing these heavily upgraded Thors up, and the thought that they are starting to do some damage with the siege tanks in the back. But this is leaving an opening for the Ultras to come around here to the planetary and get into the siege line. They're taking huge hits, though. This might just be too many siege tanks.
Right on cue, just as Iaguz moves those Thors out of the way, they will get cleaned up.
10 more Ultras.
KingKong, he just does not care. Look how much army he has. Look at his
Look at his
supply.
back. 6,000 of each resource right now, and he is just not afraid at all of losing some Ultras. He'll just keep making more. 11 Ultras being made right now from the lava of KingKong. Can he handle this? It's an Ultralisk flood. Yes. I haven't seen an Ultralisk flood this intense ever.
An Ultralisk drop. I don't even remember the last time.
I saw this in like Wings of Liberty beta.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw an Ultra drop, it was T-Gun dropping an Ultra into someone's face, like way back in Wings of Liberty or something.
I don't know why I keep forgetting T-Gun games, but
yeah, that's
really
probably the last time I saw anyone drop an Ultra. Certainly has been a long time. So KingKong is so creative. I'm actually going to steal that for ladder. That's so sick.
Nidus going down as well. This could be offensive. I'm not sure how it could be offensive, but he's got it regardless. Loading up those Overlords. Probably doesn't want that full of Lings, but that's okay.
Yep, while the missile turrets are back, if the Vipers go in, they can go for the Blinding Cloud as well. Still using the Swarm Host to keep the siege tanks pinned in that one particular position. Oh,
Siege Missile does connect with those Swarm Hosts.
Yep. Doesn't do too much, so this creep is ridiculous as well. Really great job by KingKong. He's got the entire map.
Blinding Clouds going down on those turrets as he drops the Ultras right on the siege line. The Vikings are coming back for Iaguz, but they're a little bit too late as the Ultras drop. Rest of them coming in from the ground. The planetary fortress is dead. Will the siege tanks be enough? It's not starting to look like it, Zeph. The Ravens just can't do anything about this other than drop auto turrets that die instantly to the Ultralists.
It's far too late, and these air units just can't do anything but watch as these Ultras start to tear everything apart. The siege tanks are out of position. They're still dealing with Swarm Host fire.
But Iaguz still has a much larger army supply. Even with all these Ultralists, he's up 30 supply in army.
He does somehow.
Losing that base is really bad for Iaguz, though. He has I mean, look at all the extra OCs he has. He can just lift an Orbital Command and go up there. Swarm Hosts have been Nidus'd into the main, but will be escorted out by Seeker missiles.
Wow. My goodness. What actually happens if you have a Seeker missile on the Swarm Host and it goes inside the Nidus?
Nothing. It lives.
It goes away? Okay. Well, he's still got plenty more where that came from, but the Swarm Hosts are not done yet. He needs to maybe, after the Swarm Host pop, actually land on them with Vikings or something. He doesn't have many options. He really can't remake his army right now. He's still lost all those factories.
The Locusts are slowly chipping into these siege tank numbers. Does land the Vikings here to deal with the Locusts. But he doesn't want to keep losing siege tanks here. His army supply is closing now. KingKong's starting to get close to that army supply. He's really in a good spot. This is such innovative ZVT anti-mech play from KingKong. I've never seen it before, and it is looking very effective.
This is so crazy. He's going to get the CC. He's going to be able to clean up the last few factories as well. And Iaguz is fed up. He wants to get rid of that Nidus. He wants to get rid of these Swarm Hosts, but he's running out of options. Look at his supply. He
can't seek a missile the Nidus. He has to kill it with the Vikings. He has to land something or get the siege tanks down there to kill it.
This is, wow.
15 Ultralists about to pop from KingKong, and I think that might actually be too much this time.
Yeah,
it's starting to look like he's wearing a little bit thin with his defense.
And you know what? Even if he did clean that up, he's got +3 attack coming for the air. He could just do like a massive meter switch or something. Like, there's so many options for him. There's not that many Thors. I mean, Seeker missiles are pretty easy to run away from. It's actually kind of a joke. So
yeah, you're right. He's actually got 3-2 with the air.
Yeah, KingKong is. He can pretty much throw anything at Iaguz, and Iaguz is really going to struggle to keep up with anything that he does.
This Ultra's in a really great spot.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this Ultra. Forget about this Ultra. He has just got a siege tanks on the brain right now. He's cuddled 5 of them to death already, and the rest of his brothers are here to finish him off. Too much Zerg by the looks of things for Iaguz to deal with right now.
Yep, these Ravens are his last hope. There's Infestors on the way now too, though, so he's got to be careful with how he controls those. If Iaguz cannot win with these Ravens, I think that's it.
But the Ravens can't beat the Ultras.
Yeah,
There's nothing they can do about them. That's the issue.
They're going to try, though.
Yeah, they're dropping the auto turrets, which are deceptively tanky. But they're low on energy, as the Observer just pointed out. He's starting to run out of that.
He is. He's got a few siege tanks in the mix. Oh my goodness, 8 infestors. Iaguz is not going to be expecting those the first time they show up, and that could just be the GG moment.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, like you said, these Ravens are it for him, and Ravens can only do so much. He's making siege tanks. He's trying to get into battle cruiser. The battle cruisers will have +3. He's getting fusion core, but well,
I was going to say he has a lot of money, but not really.
No, he has 100 minerals.
Yeah, he needs to get mining again. Mules can help him out with that, but is he ever going to be able to mine from another base?
Mining from where, though? I mean, he's got really mined out gold, and these other mining base at the top here is... oh, my God. This game.
Wow. Well, here comes the next Ultra
Probably
Assault.
the last attack we'll see in this game. So many Ultralisks from KingKong getting right up in Iaguz's face, and the Seeker missiles are doing... Oh, he's dancing the Ultralisks right in front of Iaguz here. KingKong doesn't even care. He's going to take a 3-0 lead by the looks of things in this game.
Yep. There's not really much left of Iaguz. The USA.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Well,
KingKong's like our pole.
There's tons of damage going out to these Ultras. He will maybe clean up the initial ones, but there's just more and more Zerg units streaming across the map.
As the Vikings are landed and they're all dead, that's it for the Vikings. Now it is literally Ravens.
GG!
Oh, GG. What a game 1 in this grand final.
Wow.
Technically game 3, but it's first stream game. Such an action, like, you wouldn't normally say this, but that was one of the most action-packed TVZs involving Swarm Host and Ravens that I've ever seen in my life.
That's one of the coolest games I've ever seen. Ultra drops, Swarm Host United in the main, that was sweet.
I'm going to tell, I mean, not everyone in the world isn't watching right now, but I think it owes us to us, it's our responsibility to tell the world about this game, I think. That was actually very worth seeing the VOD of. That was a really innovative and cool ZVT reaction to the mech. So.
Yeah, well. We're in a tough situation now because one win is all KingKong needs to take it home.
Literally one map away from the $3 grand.
He's 3-0 up on Iaguz. Remember, it's an extended series, up 2-0 up from before. So KingKong, one more map, that's all he needs. Iaguz, on the other hand, still needs 4 wins.
4 in a row. He needs to win 4 in a row.
Like, is that even possible?
4 in a row against KingKong. If anyone can do it, it's him. He's the only one here at the venue who can.
Yeah.
But...
He's the only one that's got the power, but man, that means you can't make a single mistake because KingKong will just tear you apart the moment he finds a weakness.
Both players are really good at abusing each other for mistakes, but the thing is, Iaguz left openings and KingKong exploited them with the most ridiculous decisions, like
but
effective decisions.
Why would you? I mean, he obviously thought about the possibility of a drop into the main. That's why he had like 3 rows of turrets around around the main, but. When would you ever expect to get Ultra Viper drops?
Lings, maybe.
What? That's crazy.
Wowzers.
Yeah, I learned some things just then.
I learned some things just now as well. I might take a USB over to that